Let's drill holes in a 22 Bronco. Yeah, seems right. What is up, my friends? Welcome back to Bronco Adventures. And if you're new here, we're building the Bronco for SEMA. We've got a deadline to meet, and we're gonna meet it. There's a lot of work to do. Let me give you a recap on where we're at. First, we took apart the interior, pulled the dash apart, installed the US Speedo gauge cluster cover. We got the Molly panel installed with our rugged radio. Upstairs is what I'm gonna call it. We got our switch panel from XK Glow installed, and the search and rescue panel from XK Glow installed. And then we just jumped right to the outside of the body and started installing the FunHaver body kit. And I'm just a little scared to drill holes in my door, so I haven't done that part yet, but we're gonna. But things are coming together today. We're gonna accomplish some stuff and actually check some things off the list, starting with the dash. I am super excited about this dash. The body shop absolutely killed it. We took our dash all the way apart and took it to Premier Collision and had it paint matched to the Bronco. Now, I can hear you already. You're saying Bronco Heritage comes with a white dash, but it doesn't come with an Oxford white dash, okay? Look at this. It is paint matched to the Bronco. I'm not gonna put it any closer because I'll scratch it. Now, this thing is, we're gonna have to wear sunglasses in this Bronco permanently. I know you don't do a glossy white dash, but we did. And it looks great. Absolutely love the way this turned out. And I'm a little intimidated by it. I don't wanna scratch it. So we're gonna get the dash reinstalled, and we're gonna get the airbag replugged in. That makes me nervous. Then we're like almost there. Not really. The top of the dash and the lower portion is still out getting worked on. We're doing some cool stuff there. So that's a later date item. But then we're gonna get the lights installed in here. We have the lighting set up from XK Glow. This is meant to be underglow, but we're gonna use it as above glow, you know, kind of thing. We're gonna install these underglow light bars, little strips, up top in the roof here. So that way when we get the new hardtop, we can actually have some dome lightage. I'm gonna wire these in with the dome light. When you open the door, they're just gonna come on. So that's gonna happen today. Then, for the meat and potatoes of the whole deal, come on, it's dinner time. Check this out. We got our seats back from having the Katzkin Leather installed. It smells like a new vehicle. It is great. Now, can you see it? I tried to show you in the first SEMA video, but this Barracuda section in here, you got red inside the black. It's like the Twilight Zone, and it looks good. We got the seat covers installed, the new upholstery, but we failed to clean the bottom of the seats. Honestly, I thought the install shop would do that, but they didn't. They quickly looked over that. So before we put the seats in, we are going to clean them because now's the time. And then dash will be halfway done. Seats will be done. And then the upstairs lighting is what I'm gonna call it, will be done. So there's things that'll be done on the list. You know, I'm really good at starting half things and then not finishing them until later dates. Anyway, let's actually check some stuff off the list. So Monica's gonna start cleaning these because she has the patience in the little fingers to get in there where I don't. And I'm gonna put the dash in. I can't wait to see that. Once we get the seats back in, because you know there's airbags there too, makes me nervous. Once all the airbags are plugged back in, I can finally connect the battery back to the Bronco, and we'll be able to see if we have air codes from taking this thing apart. And finally, that US Speedo lit up. If there's one thing you should know about paint matching your Bronco dash. Number one, you should do it. Number two, it's a lot of work. I have a far newfound respect for seeing Broncos with things done to the dash, because it's a challenge. It's doable, but it's a lot of work. If you ever take this out, just be prepared to be frustrated. There's a big airbag attached to this and it doesn't come off. This looks awesome. I am so excited with how this turned out. Oh, well worth the amount of work and the stress, you know, with the airbags. It happened. I know there's more dash to put in, which is good because there's a lot more screws to put in. I don't know where they go. And I told myself I would try to remember, but we're just gonna put them in wherever I see a hole. But look at that. I absolutely love it. The Heritage dash looks just as good, but with the paint match, I mean, come on. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, your Wild Track little thingies are blue. That's okay. We've got a little bit of blue. If you remember, the US Speedo gauge, we left that blue. So these blue. We're gonna have our little grab handle thingies blue. And then in our seat, our logo has just a little bit of blue. So, I mean, it's gonna tie in, I think. If it doesn't, oh well, we can take it apart later on. Not gonna happen. I'm in love with that dash. I've actually wanted to do this for quite some time. So it's been brewing up here, but now there it is. Premier Collision, you guys killed it. Now, let's get to the lighting. Our XK Glow, Underglow, they just plug together. You can get these in 2-foot sections or little 4-inch sections. Our new hardtop is going to utilize a few of the mounts for the top to mount on, so it makes sense. So I'm going to take these lights and I'm going to go right on the edge of the interior plastic because we want these to kind of like shoot up on a little bit of an angle. We're going to mount them, I think, just like that. Super excited about this. The Bronco's always been dark and dreary. We don't want that anymore. So let me get all these installed and then I'm going to show you where I'm going to wire them. I got tricks. We've got them installed. Come on up here with me and I'll show you exactly how we've done it. We've just started our lights and pushed them up against the rubber seal up there and then brought them all the way down over here. Then they give you little extension cords. We took and looped that underneath the speaker bracket. Came up here, hit another one that will then give us light towards the rear of the Bronco. Then the cool part is they send this little junction box splitter in here. It's kind of dark. My shop lights suck. But with this splitter, I was able then to run another wire up under the speaker bracket and shoot another line of lights all the way up the driver's side. And then out of that splitter, I wanted a light on the front edge of this bar so the people in the back seat would have light as well. So under this little rubber cap, I just popped it out, looped this wire through because this was a little bit longer. So I just left the excess inside the Bronco bar, plugged it in here, and then this is where my lights are now dead ending. Then out of the splitter, I took and ran another one down into the Bronco and then popped out right here where your light would be. Now this isn't a factory Bronco light. We've been trying to get light in the Bronco for some time and just haven't had any success. Huh, Emmett? Oh, he disappeared. So now is what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how to tie the new XK Glow lights in with the power and ground to my dome light. Now is what I need to do is there's 3 wires in here. One is power, one is ground, and one is constant because in the back seat you can hit the little button thing and you can turn the light on while you're driving. So I need to just figure out which one's what, and I don't know which one's what. But here's the deal. To do that properly, I need a test light. My test light has walked away somewhere. I don't know where it is. So I'm gonna have to go to the old Faber Hart tomorrow and buy a test light. So for now, we got to get these seats in. It's been too long without the interior in this Bronco. Look how good that dash looks. I absolutely love it. So let's get the rear seat in this thing, then we'll throw the fronts in. With the wiring, it should be pretty easy to wire with the seats in here. You have all the access from the back. So we got to see this interior back in here. What do you think? Yeah, I think you're right. So let's do that now. Let's stop wiring and playing with lights. We're going straight to something else. Started a project, didn't totally finish it. That's okay. SEMA's like weeks away. Look at that. I love this. First off, it's a huge change to the Bronco from how we're used to it. But second off, it's come out of our brains and our hearts, because this was a big decision. When we were building this interior with Katzkins, it was all back and forth and blues and greens and purples, and believe it or not, alligator didn't do that. But we could have, because Katzkins has multiple options, hundreds of options, down to the stitching. I mean, it's insane the options you can come up with. But I love the red and black. To me, this is kind of like that old school kind of like hot rod, but not. Like pushing the rules, but not. I don't know. I think it's calm and tame. It doesn't feel like the red's overbearing either. At first we thought, man, maybe it's going to be too bright and it's just not going to work out. But I think we did the right thing. So now let's get the front seats in. The rear was the hard part, honestly, a little more time consuming. But now let's get the front seats in, plug them in, and then most importantly, we can put the battery back to the Bronco. See if things go boom. I hope they don't. The front seats make it so much better. This is awesome. Number one, the Bronco looks like a Bronco again with having some seatage in here. I love this interior. Have I said that? Because I'm going to say it about 12 more times. Plus, having just the Scotia blue on our logo, and then all the Wild Track things that are going to be blue, like the grab handles on the end of the dash, the little vent thingies, the gauge cluster, which, speaking of that, I'm going to plug the battery in, because all of the seats are plugged in. The airbags, the seat belts, all that. So now we should have power without things going pop. So keep an eye on the seats for a second, because if it goes bang, we need evidence of it. I don't think it will, but you never know. It got me nervous when they said that it'll, I don't know. Here we go. We have negative. And positively positive. We did it. And I'm thrilled. Would you just look at this? I thought the red on the back of the seats was going to be overbearing, and it is a lot of red, but I think it's perfect. The only thing that, if we could have changed it about the interior, we might have done like the pockets on the back of the seats black, but it just wasn't an option. So, you know, we did what we could do, and I'm in love with it. Look at it from like the angle and getting that dash in there. Holy sweet. That looks sweet. I can't wait until we have our actual dash like topper and bottomer on here. Then, spoiler alert, this tan right here and right here, it's got to go away. So we're going to see if we can do these top ones red. Not guaranteeing it, but for sure these will just be blacked out, because now that this can be gone and the dash tan can be gone, we fully have customized our Bronco to get rid of the interior that we've actually disliked this entire time. From the carpet to the tan, now Armalite washout floors, Katzkin's full leather interior, I am super, super happy. Plus with the custom dash, that's, I mean, a cherry on top. Now, let's see how this US Speedo looks with actually light behind it. I can't wait. This is gonna be awesome.
Trying to grab the ghost handle.
There's no handle.
Hit the button that's not on the dash.
See the button with the dangle? The dangle of the button angle. Okay, you ready? First time for everything. Oh, that blue looks so good. I bet you it's gonna connect to my phone. Yep, there it goes. There's music. Now we can't use this. Oh wait.
Oh,
now we can.
Those were there.
Yeah,
I haven't driven this in so long.
I was thinking, my knobs are gone. What do I do? Look at that. I absolutely love that we stuck with blue because of the blue accents. Plus, I forgot that the backlighting of the screen itself is blue. So I think with the slight little blue things in the interior.
Oh, these are blue.
Yeah,
You know
exactly. I didn't remember that, but we could say we did. Okay, now I want to start it. I got two things. Need to make sure we don't have seatbelt lights and airbag lights. It doesn't look like we do, but just in case. Go back. What am I doing? How do I work this? Go away. There it is. Okay. We got a seatbelt light, but yeah, I think it's just because we got to plug in yours. Boom. There it is. We're code free. That's exciting. Means we did something right. Now, first thing in the morning, we got to get a test light, and we're going to finish wiring up all the upstairs lighting from XK Glow. I'm super excited about it. Now, we realized it got cold and our sticky ain't stucking. So, I'm going to show you what they send in the kit. There's actually little hold downers that I thought maybe I wouldn't have to use, but I'm going to use them. So, you put a little couple screws in, and it'll make those to where they'll hold down even better. So, we'll see you first thing in the morning.
Welcome back.
We have an agenda for today. We're doing more body kit stuff. I told you when we initially got this body kit fit that you kind of sort of have to be a little bit married to it, because on a 4-door, it's different for 2 doors because the quarter is all one piece. But for a 4-door, for the other piece to mount on this door, which looks really nice.
But you gotta commit.
You gotta commit because it's 2 pieces. There's this interior piece, or not interior, but
Inside.
inner piece that actually has to be mounted to the door. What's that mean? Well, you use double-sided sticky tape, but that's not gonna be good enough for going off-road, bouncing this thing around. So you need, or it's recommended, to drill and rivet to the Bronco door.
Drill a hole in the door.
In the door,
Yep.
in your door, in your pretty door that you have 4 of. The bank's loaning on the payments of this, and they don't know you're gonna drill holes. Guess what? I already did one. And I am over it. It is not that big a deal. Drill the hole nice and slow. Do it as small as possible. If in the future we ever had to take it off, I feel like it's pretty repairable.
Roll your windows up.
Roll the windows
Tech
up.
tip.
That's the big recommendation. We actually found instructions on this FunHaver kit.
Yeah, online.
They didn't come with it, but that's okay. But
on the
digging through the
website.
internet, we found it. So we'll put it in the description. This isn't that daunting of a task. Let me take you over to the other side and actually show you what this looks like. So it actually looks really good. I don't hate it. It's not perfect, but here again, it's fiberglass. It's not going to be perfect. There is a lot of time in fitting this. Probably to this point, not doing that other side, we're probably a solid 18 to 20 hours in just fitting this, but it's because I'm trying to do it as nice as possible. Think it through. But this just, I mean, holds right onto the door. You know, you secure it and you stick it and you go. Now, the thing that is kind of not my favorite is there is a little flex in this front edge, and it looks like it's sticking off the body a lot. And well, it's because it is. So is what my plan is, after we get all of this body worked and painted, I'm gonna take and put a pretty hefty, thicker strip of adhesive in there and try to get it just stuck to the door as best as I can, paint it white, and it's gonna be what it is. The fiberglass just, I mean, it's totally different, side to side. Left to right, this entire kit has been different. The passenger side has fit like absolute junk, but we've made it work. The driver's side has actually fit very, very nice. I'm pleased with that. Here's the deal. By the time I get the driver's door done, what I'm going to show you today, we're probably going to be into this body kit at least 22, 23 hours. And that's not even considering that I'm going to be making inner fender liners for the front fenders. So that's going to take some time too. Why am I making them? You can buy them from FunHaver, but we got DV8 inner fender liners. I got to represent. I love my DV8s, and we just put them in like 4 or 5 months ago. So I'm going to make it harder on myself to retain those. But it's going to look good when it's done. Super excited. So let's jump over to the other side and start installing this stuff. So you got to get this piece mounted to thy door. The instructions say, and it's provided with this 3M double-sided sticky tape foam stuff, which actually sticks really well. You basically just run an outline on this whole thing. But after mounting the passenger side, I found out a couple things. That inner edge where it's sitting against the door, where I'm trying to tighten up that gap, these are a little bit longer than they need to be. So is what I'm going to do is I'm going to take probably about a 1/2 inch off of this whole edge, so that way when this is mounted to the door and then the cap goes over it, you're not going to have any interference with this piece wanting to touch that cap, because I want that cap to immediately touch the door and try to make a nice tight seam there. So do yourself a favor, put it in there, see if you have any overlapping, and trim this before you get too excited. Now, this section that isn't taped, well, that's the arch of your door. So when this door is open, you are gonna see from the backside that this line is gonna line up right about like that. And there again, look at that. You can see how off this fiberglass is. Every one of them is going to be different because that's just fiberglass for you. So this is also something that you probably will want to paint match. But for right now, I just need it all mocked into place, so then that way we can take the body off and actually go get it painted. So while I'm cutting this down, we need to do some disassembly. We're not only just doing a body kit on the Bronco for SEMA, we're doing a new rear bumper. We're doing different lighting solutions, which we're super excited about. So Miss Monica is gonna take off the spare tire, delete that right out of there, just yeet it right off. Then we're gonna take off the rear bumper, get that out of the way. We're also gonna be removing our BMC lights for now, but I think I have an idea how we can make them work with our new bumper later on. But for now, we're going to take those off and just do a little more deconstruction. And we're going to take the whole front bumper and stuff off too, because we don't need that for a minute because it's bent and I've got to figure out how to fix that. So projects. So I'm going to go cut this. Monica's going to take off some components. Okay, now that you've got this ground down, I'm gonna put some more sticky tape on that before we line it up. I recommend just use a step bit to do this, because as that slowly goes through, it doesn't blow out the fiberglass. At least hasn't yet. Once you get those holes drilled in the innermost piece, then do the same thing in the outer cap. Now, on the outer cap, I've been drilling them just a little bit bigger than necessary. That way I can put a washer on it, and I kind of have some adjustment while I'm trying to get this fit. In the kit, they send these little like nut cert type things, and they work quite well. And now that I say this, I was just thinking in my head, maybe I'm supposed to use the nutsert tool to actually seat these. And I didn't on the other side. I might have to go back to that one. Anyway, my problem, not yours. So you take these and just push them into the fiberglass, and then also it comes with the provided hardware. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it together as one assembly. We're gonna take the red stuff off the sticky tape. Then we're gonna get everything lined up on the door, and we're just gonna push it right on. And that tape's gonna hold it to the door. Then we're gonna take out all that hardware you just installed. Then we'll have access to this innermost face, and that's where we then drill into our vehicle. I hate it, but it's not that big a deal. We'll take and strategically put rivets in this door, exactly where we want them. On the other side, I did them about 6 inches apart. It says to do 3, but I did 5. And it was only because I felt like there was areas where that rivet would actually help hold it onto the Bronco to help align things the right way. So, you know, you just kind of pick and choose where you want to drill holes. So let me get everything assembled. We'll get it stuck to the door, and then we'll bust out a drill bit and drill into our $60,000 vehicle. We're doing it for you and for SEMA. So we've got this whole thing as an assembly now. I still need to put some more sticky tape on there, but we got Lego tower going on in the shop today, huh? You like building your Legos?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look at what Mom is doing back here. Making a mess, cutting out all the old wiring.
Probably won't start now.
Getting rid of the bump. Oh, it'll start. I wired it myself. It started after I was done, so. But the nice part is we're actually getting rid of our body gap filler panel because we're getting rid of the 1.5" body lift. Now, remember when I put the body lift on there, why did I do it? It's because I refuse to rub Lego tower down, because I didn't want my tire rubbing anything on the Bronco. Well, with these high cut, you know, I don't think we're gonna rub, even with a 37. But I still wanted a little bit of body lift. So we are gonna do a 1-inch body lift. I don't think that 1/2 inch body gap you're gonna see to 1 inch is gonna be very noticeable. But still, I just want a little bit of a body lift. So we got hooked up with Mike Ellis Body Lifts. He makes them, and they're in all various sizes. So pick yourself up whatever size body lift you want to run, if you want to run one. He makes them down to even 1/2 inch. And I almost said, yeah, send me a 1/2 inch, but I went, no, send me 1 inch. I just don't want to rub. And I know that I could also make something to fill a body gap if I needed to. But I don't know of anybody else making them in all various sizes. So I am excited to get that on there, but that's another day project. Today, we're just getting everything tore apart. So keep tearing it apart.
I don't know what I'm doing.
She knows what she's doing. I lined her out. I was like, cut it here, cut it there, because I put the stuff together. I said, wherever there's tape holding stuff together, just cut it. So that's why she cut all that. So anyway, I'm gonna go get some sticky tape, put on here, and we're gonna get this piece on the Bronco finally. Okay, so I got my tape on there. You'll notice it's thicker than the thinner stuff. Well, it's because on the other side, I made a mistake, and it cost me the tape that they sent. So I couldn't find the thin stuff, so I just went with the thick. It's the same. Anyway, so because all this is bolted together, now you can stick it on here. You're trying to line up, there is a body dimple type thing in there. It needs to go here, you know. You want to make sure you have a really clean prepped surface. So basically that's good. So the other thing we're trying to line up is the, you know, curvature of this and the in and the out of it too. So You want to take your time, and it's not going to be perfect, but it should be pretty close. Try to keep that body gap there. I got it way too high. Okay, so I'm gonna call that good enough, because all of this stuff you have to cut and trim and get this piece to fit in. As I push this forward, you can see that that changes our body gap. So I'll figure out how much to take off the back to fit that in there. But the important stuff is in line. This is obviously way too tall, so I've got to trim that down to get it out of our body line. And then kind of round that in a little bit to make it mesh with the door handle. But it's actually not too bad. So let me take this off, and then we'll figure out where we're going to rivet in our door. Okay, so now this inner piece is attached to our door. So this will keep it to the Bronco, but then with these rib nuts in here, that's how that cap mounts to it. So sticky tape alone isn't going to hold this thing on how we're going to use it. So it's recommended to put 3 rivets in. One here, probably one about middle, and then one towards the bottom, which that would work. But I tend to usually overdo things. So what I'm looking at is like right here, it's already wanting to pull away from the door. So I think I'm going to do a lower one, kind of a little more towards the outside instead of right there. So we'll X that out. I don't want that one. Then looking up here, this is all pretty good. So what I'm going to do is about 6 inches away, do another one right here. That way it holds. Then probably about another 6 inches or so, one right there. Then I can see up here that it is kind of pulling away. So I'm going to do my uppermost one about there. So we're not going to worry about there. Then probably about another 6 inches right there, and then another 6 inches down. So this is why I ended up doing 6 rivets, is because I'm actually watching to see how tight this is to the body line, or to the body. Because the better this fits, the better that cap I can make fit to the Bronco, trying to keep our body line, you know, lined up, and then also the lines coming up off of the quarter, and then hopefully the face of the quarter as well. So this is where it just takes time. You have to sit and put it on and off a whole bunch of times, but eventually it'll look good enough and you'll be happy with it. Then we can take it all apart and take it to the body shop, because Premier Collision has a little bit of a job in line painting this stuff, because it needs prepped and but it's gonna look so good. It'll be all Oxford white and it will look nice. So I'm super excited to get this done, but now for my least favorite part, let's drill holes in a 22 Bronco. Yeah, seems right. Whatever, I'm doing it anyway. Be slow with your drill. You know, if you go cramming this through, you know, you hurt something in the door. You don't know what, because you're drilling blind. Also, make sure your window's up. That was in the instructions, so that's nice. I need to tape measure. I want to make sure this is actually 6 inches. Makes a guy sad, you know, just the body kit's gonna be worth it, I hope. Oh, look at that. I judged that one perfect.
Why'd you put a cross on it?
Because I didn't want those. And Jesus needs to guide my drill bit, not to go into anything important, you know. You see that aluminum? That was your door. Was. Okay. We'll do it right there. I saved my best drill bit for this job. Okay. Oh, that bad? Oh well, it's only paint. There's holes in it now, forever and ever. Okay, so here's where we're at now. It looks pretty good. It's not crazy out of whack, but you can tell you got some work to do. So this is where it kind of starts into like a little bit of educated guessing. You can just keep an eye on all the lines. Here, it's pretty good. Underneath, same thing, pretty smooth. Out left and right, we are off just a little bit, but our door gap seems to be pretty good. But then looking at this line, that's definitely on an angle. So we're gonna definitely need to cut this down flush to get it away from the edge of the body line. But then the biggest thing is how are we going to close up that door gap? Because as you push in, it only goes in so far. So what I'm seeing is up here just under the door handle, that's where it's touching the body first. So I'm thinking if I, from the inside of this, grind down and make it to where that's a little bit further away, then this gap will close up because this will have more space up in here. Then same thing here, you know, if I cut this down a little bit, and that goes in, we should have a tighter fitment there. But some of this is just a little bit of trial and error. You know, it's gonna fit, but just how well? It's hard to say. Here again, we have the other side as a reference for a few things. You know, how far down is this from the body gap? We're probably ½ inch. This body gap is totally different, but they're just gonna fit different because that's fiberglass for you. If this was actually metal, it would be way better. Oh look, we have a visitor. This isn't our dog, but that's Peaches.
Hi, Peaches.
Super calm dog.
Every time we come out here, she's like, hey
Yeah.
guys, can I come in?
Here's the thing. We call her Peaches, but the kids can't say Peaches, so they call her Pete. So if you ever hear the kids hollering Pete, that's Peaches.
Peaches.
Anyway, so this is where it starts with the, you know, make some reference marks on your fiberglass. You don't want to cut too much. It's harder to put it back than to take it off. Then make a few adjustments, put it back on, see how it lines up. If you need it to go in tighter, maybe oval out your holes a little bit so it'll suck in a little bit more. So, you know, you just kind of got to start moving it around. Let me give you an update in just a second. So I've got it off of the Bronco and I made some marks. That's how far the top piece needs to come down to be square and also fit against the body a little bit better. Then I made a mark right in this area from the back side here. You can see how thick that fiberglass is. I need to reduce that down a little bit. And then same thing right down in about this area. So we're just gonna take and get the grinder and just slowly work those things down. You know, just take a little at a time, put it back on, keep fitting it, but you know, it takes so long. It's not a speedy process. Can you do this? Absolutely. It's just don't rush it, because if you rush it, you're going to cause problems. You might, screw things up. You're drilling holes in your vehicle, just try to be meticulous about it. I'm trying. I don't know if I'm doing it the right way, but probably saving a lot of money from having a body shop do it. So here's to having bad door gaps. So here's the deal. We've made no progress forward. We've only gone backwards. I had to take this off of the door. Why? Let me tell you. So as this thing was going on, we could never keep it square. And I couldn't figure out why is it not square? Because this is a square edge. And then I found my problem. This inner piece was not actually square. Imagine that. Watch that line here. Let me undo my tape. That's how out of square it was. So we just took and started grinding away at the thing. Eventually got it to where when this goes in, oh wow, guess what? It goes square. Now with the actual piece that's holding the cap on being square, instead of being where my holes are lined up now and having almost a full inch back here, look at that. Look at that gap. Terrible. Now guess what? I can move that to about right there and the thing will line up. But here's my biggest problem that I'm super upset about. I now have holes in my door for no reason. I wish I would have seen that first, but how would you know? So here's the thing. When that goes on, those are covered up. So I think I'm just gonna squirt some silicone in those, so as naturally moisture gets down in there, it won't have a chance of going into the door. So I'm not pleased with this, but we found a problem by tying that back down there. We fixed it. Fiberglass is a pain. This is just, it's not easy. So we're good at starting projects and not finishing. So first thing in the morning, I can actually get this back together. But for now, I gotta go buy some epoxy and try to get that stuck right there. Good luck, Chuck, because I have no clue what I'm doing, but I mean, we cut it pretty nice. I'm pretty proud of that, but man, what a hole. It's just out of whack, something bad. Oh well, we know now. We can get it fixed and just have some Swiss cheese on the Bronco. And here it is, a couple days later. Not gonna lie to you, this has been a pain. This has been a heck of a job, but we're making progress. We've got the body gap lined up much better on this. It's still not perfect, but it's closer. That little piece being off, that was a massive problem. It was out of whack by at least half, maybe a full inch. So now that we've got it on there, this actually is fitting how we want it to. But we still have quite the gap off of the door to the cap itself. So how are we gonna fix that? Well, I don't know. I've been trying to thin it down to get it to lay flat against the door, but it's not doing it. So I think at this point, it's basically all I can do. I think we're just gonna let the body shop handle it from here, because the only thing that I can think of is if we were to cut all the way down this edge and score it, lay it out flat, and then re-fiberglass in it to hold that edge closer to the door. So it's out of my wheelhouse, is what I'm saying. Yet again, another project started and nothing finished. It's the trend here with this. I mean, at some point we're gonna have to finish it, but the biggest mistake was me not realizing just how out of square that was, and now having extra holes in my door. It's a me thing. So if you're doing this, pay attention. Good luck with it. I just wanted to show you that it is possible to do in your own shop. The quarters went awesome. The fenders went pretty good. We're still making inner fender liners for those. I don't know exactly how we're gonna do that yet, but I'll show you when we get them made, because I wanna make sure we actually get something done first. So, but for right now, get off your couch, go and create adventure. I'm gonna start another project and probably not finish it. Thanks for watching.
Bronco Adventures.